And then on my Facebook page, my personal page, and my business page, God called me to do like a daily devotional from the book of Psalms, and that actually started off by somebody from the Dream Center. Her mom was going through cancer treatment, and so she said if everybody could just read a psalm a day with me and pray for me, and do that with me. It was like a 100-day section. So I started doing that. God prompted me to post it on Facebook, and so then I started doing it, and then people were like, I'm using it for my like daily devotional, because I got to Psalm 150. I'm like, okay, I can quit now. They're like, oh, no, don't quit. So now I think we're like, I don't know, a couple years down the road anyway. And one guy just even recently, because those times come when you're thinking like, well, do I need to pare down? Do I need to stop this? And he said, in the morning I don't have time to stop and do any like devotional time with the Lord, but he said on my coffee break at work I do. So he said that's one of the things I do. Then I go to my Facebook page, I find your post. And then besides the psalm, then I have a prayer that God's put on my heart for that day. And oftentimes it's exactly what somebody needs. So and I guess what I'm trying to convey to you is this. They're not huge things. They're little things that each of us are gifted to do. And so, my area of expertise is in writing and speaking, but yours may be in baking cookies and giving them to the person next door, or buying clothing and sharing with people, or whatever it is, but God has wired you in a way that He can use you in service to His kingdom. So what happens next? Really, that's kind of where we're coming to now. Here's the junction in the road. We're at the Y. And it's been an amazing weekend. As Nancy Lee DeMoss said last night, this is not just a moment in time, this is a movement. And on their website they have some stuff that we can follow through with. But as Debbie and I talked a few months ago, we realized that God's been sowing similar seeds, I believe, in all of our hearts, especially regarding prayer. And for some of you, the seed's been planted, but the seed hasn't died yet. The seed hasn't died. So without the death, there can't be the life. For some of you, the seed is just starting to break through the ground. We can just see like a little bump. Some of you, we're just seeing the little shoot coming up. And some of you, the stalk is formed, and the flowers are tight, and then for some of you it's gone into full bloom. But there's still flowers yet to be bloomed. So we're all at a different place, but I believe we're in one accord. That there's a unity in prayer that we desire, that we know we need, that without it, surely we will perish. So we are part of the solution in this area, in this Inland Northwest, in this corridor. Last night I think Debbie was mentioning that from the Valley corridor, so Spokane Valley into Coeur d'Alene to the Kellogg Valley. Women all through there were there last night represented. So a strip of land that God is calling us to claim. So we're trusting the Lord to see where He leads next. The next step was going to be a step of obedience, but this is what I do know, is that prayer is a commitment. Prayer is a spiritual battle. Prayer is powerful and effective. Prayer is a game changer. And as Christians, it is the greatest silent weapon we have. It's the greatest silent weapon we have. Because if I wasn't on camera, I'd move somewhere else because I'd like to move. But you just have to pretend I'm in the flesh moving. So if I was standing in front of Benita and she was cursing me out, she was angry with me, she wouldn't be doing that. But we'll just say that we'll just say it's like a Judas moment. And Satan has come into her and there's all kinds of havoc happening. And I am the intended target. I can stand right in front of her. I can be praying inside of me for God to do what God can do and to, silence her, that the enemy would flee from her. And she doesn't even know that because those words don't have to come from my mouth. But we are powerful. I mean, we're powerful weapons. We're more powerful than any military weapon there is. And we can walk the streets every day. When you're in your car going down the street, praying instead of cursing, praying instead of being distracted, praying instead of worrying, literally lives change. Lives change when they're touched by prayer. And we can do that. I mean, it's not like you don't have to go to school to learn that. You don't have to have a PhD or a law degree like I have, or a bachelor's degree, a degree in the School of Hard Knocks. But God's called us to pray. And He has equipped us to do that. So, let's see here. I don't think I have a bookmark up here anymore.
Oh, I got one.
as we kind of bring this to a close. So the bookmark, I think that every one of you got, the minister here designed, Sacred Symphony, Matthew 18, 19, and 20. It says, again, I say to you that if two of you agree on earth concerning anything that they ask, it will be done for them by my Father in heaven. For where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, I am there in the midst of them. And before I close, I just want to share this quote by Ravi Zacharias. Ravi. Over the years, I've discovered that praying with people can sometimes do more for them than preaching to them. Mm-hmm. Prayer draws the heart away from one's own dependence to a position of leaning on the sovereign God. The burden is often lifted instantly. Prayer is only one aspect of worship, but one that is greatly neglected in the face of people who would be shocked to hear what prayer sounds like when the one praying knows how to touch the heart of God. Yeah. To a person in need, pat answers don't change the mind, but prayer does. So I just pray that you have been touched by the words that God has given me to share with you today. And really, it's a call to action. It's a call to action. And we don't know what that looks like. So if you've ever been in an organization, whether that's a church or a nonprofit or whatever, starting out on a brand new adventure, you're kind of like in the initial planning meeting, ladies. Mm-hmm. And so we don't know what the road ahead looks like, but we do know that God is calling us to pray. Mm-hmm. So whether that means coming together in groups, whether that means something on Facebook, whether that means Periscope, and some of you may not know what that is. It's not part of a submarine. It's a feed off Twitter where we can actually do like live prayer things. So we don't know what that looks like, but all we're doing is inviting you into the conversation and to pray with us, that God would show us what to do. Whether it's more events like this, like last night, smaller prayer groups. And so all we knew to do was to do this, to host last night and fanning the flame today. Mm-hmm. And so the kind of cool part too was, when last night, Nancy Lee DeMoss is saying, yeah, and then, then what comes next? And I'm thinking, tomorrow at 10 o'clock in Hayden, Idaho, fanning the flame. And so, but how cool is that? Because like sometimes God just gives you a glimpse and he's like, okay, so I'm like, don't tell anybody, but I have this little thing for you to do. And so I'm thinking we kind of got like a glimpse of his heart for us. And so anyway, I hope you got something out of today. I hope it sparked a fire in you of some sort. As we're going to go into some prayer time, as Debbie's going to come up and we're going to kind of lead us through some time and also have time for you to pray and for us to pray with you. But anyway, I just need to zip my lips and round it up. So thank you so much for listening.